What up, YouTube Gen X? Alright. Um, let's say me and my progressive black wife go off and start a family. Um, is that going to somewhat prevent this sort of brown community? No, not really. It may delay it, right? For a generation or whatnot, but it's still going to happen. Let me start off with this. This sort of change that the black community wants to see, two things have to happen. Number one, you definitely need a change in culture. Not even fixing, you need a brand new culture. Brand new morals and values, because what we have is too far gone. It's too fucked up. I don't care what anybody says. It's not working right now. It's like that white shirt that you have, and you're like, let me bleach it, but after a while, it's no longer crisp, man. You don't have that crispy right tee no more. You need a new one. Go to the swap meet, get 4 for 15 or 4 for 20 or whatnot. Go ahead and go to the store and get some new ones, right? You can't save that white tee anymore. That's where I'm at. So A, you need a brand new sort of culture, right? That your wife and, the husband agree to. That's what annoys me. You have a whole bunch of black women that will kind of fall in line with what black men want, but they still have that bullshit within them. They're like those pseudo feminist matriarch sort of women that will, lie low and play their position, but they still have that sort of standoffish bullshit. None of that shit, right? You have to be clearly against it, right? You have to be able to turn on the TV and be just as mad at Tyler Perry or Angela Burt Murray as I am, right? None of that. Well, but you have to understand the black women, like, no, none of that shit. All that black culture bullshit has to fucking go, right? So that's A. B, there has to be enough people that agree with that sort of new culture, right? So that when these new people start having children, there's enough children who believe in this new culture in order for them to get together. So they don't, so they don't have to feel like they have to go against what mommy and daddy want. We see this all the time with some of your more suburb black men and women. It's like you have the black girl who grew up a certain way, but she's trying to fit in with other black women. She's trying to get with black men. So she goes against what her parents taught her, going back to the whole idea of middle-class black women identifying with hood black women. Right? You're trying to fit in and be cool at the expense of the culture that your parents gave you. Right? Then you have the black chicks that are like, fuck all that. I listened to what my parents told me. I'm not embarrassed to say I'm from the burbs. And what do? We want white men. We want Asian men. Right? We want Indian men. We want any sort of man except black men. Same thing for black boys. The ones that are from the burbs. You want to be cool with black women? What happens? You have to get a 2.3. Right? You have to act like you're cool, but not. You have to sag your pants, but pull those bad boys up the second you get home. And you have to hide shit. Let me hide this hat. Let me hide my do-rag. And when I leave and walk to school, I'm going to put it on. Because I got to impress the other black chicks. Right? I got to secretly do my homework and secretly go to after-school tutoring so they don't know that I'm a smart kid. Right? That's what they have to do. But the black boys that are like, fuck all that. I'm going to do what my parents want. I'm going to get that 4.2 or whatnot. What's going to happen? They're not going to fit in, right, with other black people. The black dudes are going to say, you're corny, you're a sellout. The black women are going to say, dude, you're not tough enough, right? So the way it stands now, you do have your few black families that are on that new black culture sort of bullshit, but what happens? Their kids either have to stay true to what their parents want, right, and therefore by default be attracted to other groups that are not black, hence the whole brown family or the brown community, right, because when they're ready to date and marry, realistically, who are they going to have a preference for, right, going back to, the black dudes that grew up in a certain environment, right, and what they like. You know, it really doesn't matter. You know, if you have a black boy from the time he was 12 years old to the time he was like 23, and he was never really being checked for black women, right? All he's going to have a preference for is non-black women, right? So it really doesn't matter if black women are trying to check for him, you know, after that point. It's already done. He already has his preference, right? He's already used to the whole idea of non-black women. He feels more comfortable around them because they have similar cultures. It's a wrap. There goes your brown community. Same thing with the black women, right? You know, it doesn't matter what may change. You know, up to a certain point, if she listened to what her parents told her, she was thrown away by, you know, the black community because she wasn't cool enough. She wasn't down enough, right? You know, she conducted herself in a certain manner. So it really doesn't matter what happens later on. She's already going to have a preference for non-black men. There goes your brown community, right? Now, obviously, it's going to be more frequent amongst the black boys, like I said before in the other video, but it's still going to happen. So it's not going to be a shocker if me and my wife are watching TV, you know, we're watching CNN, and our daughter comes in and is like, oh, Mom and Dad, tomorrow I want you to meet, or tomorrow I'm going out on a date. And we're like, well, before you go, we want to meet the guy. And in walks an Asian guy, in walks a white guy. We're not going to be surprised. I mean, hopefully, you know, we would hope that our daughter will go for the other younger black boy who is kind of doing what she's doing. You know, we can cross our fingers and hope for that. But, you know, who knows? Going back to the whole idea of there just not being enough people, right? You know, just because there's, you know, one other smart black boy at, you know, my daughter's school doesn't mean that my daughter has to get with them. You know, just because there's one or two other smart black women at my son's school doesn't mean that he has to get with them. You know, if he's not feeling them, he's not feeling them. It is what it is. So there's just not enough people. Think about it. And from a parental standpoint, sit back and ask yourself, what do you want to happen? Right? Do you want your child to submit to the black culture bullshit so that they can keep it black, or adhere to your new standard on black culture and by default be more compatible with non-black men and women? Right? What are you going to choose? You already know what you're going to do. You already know. It's bittersweet, but you already know. I mean, one of my closer friends, the funny part, me and his mother, we're more so on point about this whole idea of black men not marrying black women. You know, my boy's kind of oblivious to all that, but his mom gets it, and we kind of talk about it when we do link up. And she's at the point where she gets it already. She knows that her son, my boy, you know, is seen as corny by other black women. You know, she already knows that he's thrown away, right? And she knows that her son feels more comfortable around non-black women. You know, it is what it is, and we're boys, and we talk about it all the time. So she's already accepted the fact that she would rather have her son, you know, stick with what he's doing, right, in terms of engineering or whatnot, and be more compatible with non-black women than to try to be cool and try to be hard and fuck up his career and put his life in jeopardy just so that he can keep it black, right? And that her mom can have black grandbabies. She's already come to that, you know, realization. So this brown community, it's going to happen. Like I said in closing, I mean, you need that new culture, and obviously when you have two progressive black people that come together, they're going to have that culture, right? You know, it's not shocking to fathom the whole idea of there being progressive black women out there. You know, the problem is, you know, we just don't come in contact, but we know y'all are there. No one is saying that you guys don't exist. But even if we did come together and link up, you know you want to be living in the burbs, so do I, right? What's going to happen, realistically? Like I said before, my son, he's gone. He's gone already. I already know that. I already know. To be real with you, I'm going to be shocked, when my son is 17, 16, and I'm chilling watching a Laker game, and he's like, oh, Dad, I want you to be with my girlfriend. We're about to go study, or we're about to go to the movies, and it's a black chick. I'm going to be like, oh, damn. Okay. Right? I know she's from a good home. Right? I know that her parents are on point. But I'm already going to be, aware that he's going to bring home some Asian chick or white chick or some Indian chick. I already know. Right? Especially with the new generation. The dumb part about it is, the whole lid on interracial dating is going to be blown the fuck off when our generation start having kids. So all the Indian guys and the Asian guys and the white guys that I grew up with, when we start having children, they're not going to be as hardcore as their parents. They're not. Because they'll remember, all the times that they had to throw away a girl that they liked because their parents were like, we don't want you to do that. And we're not going to pay for you to go to college, or we're not going to pay for you to go to prom. So I'm betting that they're going to be more open to it. Right? So, this whole idea of the brown community is coming. Whether you like it or not, it's coming. In closing, like I said, you need people. You need more people who believe in that new black culture so that your child or children don't have to make the choice. So that they can say, hey, I'm going to listen to what my parents want me to do. I'm going to be smart. I'm going to go somewhere. I'm going to act like I have common sense. I'm going to act like I have integrity, and I can actually go off and find other black people that operate just like me. But we don't have that. Right? So whether you like it or not, this brown community is coming. When I think about it, the sort of change that we want to see, something significant has to happen. Like something drastic has to happen. I don't know what it is, but something crazy has to happen to the point where we can blow the lid off of black culture. But right now, people don't see it, unfortunately. It's like that engineer that's telling you, man, you need to fix this bridge, right? But people don't want to listen. So they need that bridge to collapse during rush hour so that people can say, oh shit, we have to wake the fuck up. 200 people got killed. And honestly, it's on that shit now. Something drastically life-changing has to happen to the black community in America for enough black people to wake the fuck up and say we need something new. But right now, it's not going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen in my lifetime, to be real with you. I don't even know what's going to happen, to be real with you, because you have racism that's kind of more, racism is more undercover now. So I don't know what may spark, right, that change or that dramatic event that would get enough black people to wake the fuck up. I really don't know, right? But, like I said, it is what it is. The brown community is coming whether I'm with my black wife or not, right? Y'all take it easy. Hopefully you were able to follow me. Let me know what you think. God bless.